Burger King's mouldy burger advertising is one of the most talked about and creatively awarded adverts ever. But did it work? Well, let's look at some numbers. First, here's what Publicis, who made the adverts, claim in terms of the results. The first test for any advert is, does it get your attention? And there is no disputing, this ad worked brilliantly on that front. It created a lot of earned media. It's still one of the most talked about adverts ever, and at the time it captured lots of attention, lots of news, lots of people saw it. But where there is a bit more debate is how well it resonated, what people thought about it, and whether it actually drove purchases of burgers. Now, Publicis show some fantastic data here, including lots of positive sentiment, a big bump in sales. But is that true? I mean, for a start, the advert was launched in February 2020, which is just as COVID hit and fast food sales around the world fell through the floor. So clearly there is some interpretation in terms of that sales uplift. In addition, Ace Metrics, who measure advertising of effectiveness for brands, ran their own analysis of the campaign, which is nothing like as positive. Here you can see 36% of viewers showed a positive purchase intent after viewing the ad. Now that's actually just below Ace Metrics' benchmark for the category, but it's not super unusual. More worryingly though, 26% of people are actually turned off from purchase after watching the ad. Now that compares with 6% for the category norm, so a big difference in terms of negative sentiment. Now this is clearly a lot less positive than the Publicis data. So coming back to the fact that the mouldy burger advert was launched in February 2020, what did sales for that year look like compared to McDonald's? Because if we don't compare it to McDonald's, it was a very strange year with lockdowns and with COVID and with sales taking a big hit. Now, these data come from the Drum publication, who suggest that distribution and other factors were fairly similar for the two brands during the pandemic. And we can see that overall, McDonald's does a lot better than Burger King. However, I think it is worth noting that in Q1 and Q2, when the advert would have likely had the most impact, it's fairly even. The Drum concludes that the advert likely didn't hurt Burger King sales. I note that didn't hurt their sales, which is not necessarily what you want an ad to do. So my personal view is that it may have had a bit of a negative impact. For me, and for 26% of people, the ad is a big purchase turn-off. And while I'm conscious that one-off ad campaigns rarely have really big impacts either way, I think this ad has received so much notoriety and attention that likely it has had a fairly big impact. And if that impact was slightly negative, then actually that's a big problem for Burger King. But what do you think? Feel free to comment below.